Hi everyone, this is your girl Bridget Takpo, and thank you for joining me on Obodo TV. Today I want to talk about the issue of Fulani Herdsmen. A lot of people have sent me messages saying you need to talk about this, you need to talk about this. The problem about having this platform is that it gives you a voice. So when very serious issues like this are happening in our country, you've got to speak up. Initially, I didn't want to get into politics or say anything about politics on my blog, but I realized that it's not possible because these are very critical issues. We can't just turn a blind eye and just carry on talking about, other issues that are not currently so relevant to the issues that we are going through in our country. So I think the first thing that I personally, or a lot of people have been asking is the question of, this Fulani Herdsmen. Why is the federal government not saying anything about it? There seems to be total silence, complete silence from the federal government regarding this issue. It's almost as if it's not an issue at all. So I'm asking, and a lot of people are also asking, why is there so much silence from the federal government? If something is of a national security and is a national issue like this that is causing a lot of, havoc in our country, there are deaths, destruction all across Nigeria, from Benue to Delta to the east, every part of Nigeria. Every day we're hearing of reports of Fulani Herdsmen and all what is going on with the killing, the destruction that is going on. So why is the federal government not saying anything about it? That's the first question that people are asking. The second one that, is very worrying is, how did Fulani herdsmen get their weapons? Because don't forget that it's not today that Fulani herdsmen have been, carrying their cattle around Nigeria. They live a nomadic lifestyle whereby they go from one point to the other depending on the time of the year to feed their cattle. So I remember growing up as a child, we used to have Fulani herdsmen pass through our village. The women self-ride, people who drink buy from them. They don't harm anybody. I know they always have their daggers and they always have their knives with them, because they're always in the bush. So you would think that they'll have some sort of weapon or some sort of instrument that they will use to defend themselves, because some of them are quite young. You see children as young as 10 carrying cattle round and round. So it's not today that Fulanis have been rearing their cattle or moving around Nigeria. So the question is, how did this happen? How did they get the weapons that they are using today now? And why? Why? What is the problem? It almost feels as if since Buhari, who himself is a Fulani man, became president, things have just changed. It's like Fulani men or Fulani herdsmen just became something else, which is, I don't really understand it. Maybe somebody who is watching this blog and understands what's going on might be able to give me a feedback regarding what is going on, because I really don't understand it, and a lot of people don't understand it. I understand that all the security forces in Nigeria, SSS, police, all of them are headed by Fulani men. Defense, all of them are Fulani men. So if this is a tribal thing, because we all know in Nigeria what the issues are in terms of class, tribalism, when it comes to positions in politics or in government, it's always about where you come from. Sometimes it's about your religion, but most times it's always about where you come from. Tribe is something that is really tearing Nigeria apart, because people will not give rational explanation. They will not give rational reasoning to things that are happening. Rather, they will first of all fall back to their tribal sentiment. It's always about where you come from. So that has always been an issue that we have, and it's even more so now, because people are saying Buhari is a Fulani man. These Fulani men that are killing people are his people. They speak the same language. Why is he not handling it? And why is he not saying something about it? Because I remember a few months ago when IPOB was an issue in Nigeria and there was a lot of agitation in the east, this same Buhari jumped from London the minute he came to Nigeria, descended on Kanu and his people, and squashed it immediately. So the question that people are asking is that, with the same power, with the same force, and with the same action that he took to squash IPOB, seemingly, Why? What's different with Fulani Herdsmen? Why is he not saying something? Is he not concerned about what is going on? Is he not concerned about the death that is going on in Nigeria? Is he not concerned about the destruction that is going on? Senseless waste of life that is going on. How can any responsible government tolerate what is going on and not say a word? It's really very worrying. Then I saw a video a couple of days of this argument or this discussion in the House of Parliament. I don't know what they call it, House of Representatives, and there's this woman who was speaking very passionately and saying, oh, why are people not being patient? Her name is Aishat, is it Diko or Dako? I don't know, whatever her name is. He's supposed to be a member of the House from one of the northern states, saying that, oh, Nigerians have become so impatient. We don't listen to each other anymore. Why are people saying that Fulani man values his cow more than human life? That is not true. Then she went ahead and contradicted herself again and said, oh, actually, Fulani herdsmen value the cow more than their own life. And I'm like, really? Unbelievable. You know what? In a civilized society like the Western world where we live, for making that kind of a comment on a very sensitive security issue like this, that woman should resign. That's what she would do, because it would be the only honorable thing to do. How can you say that the life of an animal is more valuable than the life of a human being? It's preposterous. Even here in the Western world, where the animals have got rights, that they have agencies that protect the rights of animals and all that, they never ever say that animals have more rights than human being, or that you have a dangerous dog at home who can kill someone and they cannot put it down. No, they advocate for the rights of animal, but they never place the value of animal over human life. Talk much less of Africa, much less Nigeria, where even people don't have rights. They don't celebrate human life. You want to talk about animal rights, and you want to start saying that cow is more valuable than human life. That is a disgrace. It's a shame. I mean, what that woman said, it makes me sad, because it just goes to show the kind of country that we have, the kind of leadership that we have. That's the leadership problem that we have. Because if somebody who is supposed to be representing people will open her mouth to say that utter those kind of words, that actually Fulani herdsmen value it more than their own life. What does that say about our country? What does that say about our people? What does that say about the kind of leaders that we have, that are so insensitive? They don't even care. As long as it's not affecting them directly, they don't care. You want to tell us that cows are more valuable than human life? And I'm also very concerned about, the fact that this issue is a problem, but you see people on social media fighting each other, arguing about it and making all sorts of noise, but you don't see any activism going on. All the people that used to be activists that will go on and do activism, they will demonstrate. People will protest peacefully just to express their displeasure over what is going. We don't see that anymore. The only person I've heard so far, or maybe because I'm not on ground, I don't know. If anybody knows what's going on, maybe there's been some peaceful protest, or there's some demonstration or some activism going on, please share. Because the only person I know that's actively been talking about these issues is Charlie Boy. Charlie Boy is the one that will come out and say, no, this is wrong. We shouldn't support this. This is wrong. And you know what? People don't even support him. When he comes out to say things like that, they begin to abuse him. Imagine remember when he was talking about, when he had that protest in Abuja, and he was talking about Amumu don't do. It's his own people even that were laughing at him. People were doing video and saying, look at him, foolish man. It's him that is Mumu. This, that. You see, that's the problem. So, nobody wants to say anything. Why is the government not doing something about it? So, it means invariably that what people are saying is that communities now have to sit up and find a way to safeguard themselves, to protect their lives and their properties. Because if you can't just be in your home or in your farm looking for your daily bread, fighting for your own survival. Somebody cannot just come into your land and, trash your farm, murder your family, murder you or kidnap you and do all these things and get away with it, and there's no repercussion. It is not done anywhere in the world. So since the systems that are in place, the security forces that are in place, that are meant to safeguard people and meant to protect lives and property, they are not doing it. So what people are saying now is that, the communities now need to, form vigilante groups. They need to find a way to safeguard themselves. The youth need to rise up to see what they can do to protect themselves, because it's obvious the government has failed them. Government has really failed, because how can you, a responsible government, keep quiet and things like this are happening? I have never heard of it before. You have not even said one word to even condemn them that this killing needs to stop. You need to stop it, or do a broadcast in your language, Fulani language, and say, you, my people, wherever you are, they listen to radio, they have that radio that they carry up and down in the bush that they are. Say, no, don't do this. We are all Nigeria. Every day you say we are one Nigeria, but when the chips are down, we now see that we are truly not one Nigeria, because it's always about tribe. It's about where you come from, your own people. It's about, defending your people against even things that you shouldn't be defending them against. That takes priority over national security, over lives, senseless lives, loss of lives and property. That is what it is. So, what Nigerians need to do, which is what people do in civilized country, in Western world, if you don't like the government in place because you feel that they are not serving your interests, you voted for them, you vote them out. That is just the only solution. That is what people in civilized country do, because if your government is not serving your interests, you feel like, oh, they are there for themselves alone. Buhari said he's fighting corruption. Nigeria is falling apart. If it's not serving your interests and you feel aggrieved with what is happening, what you need to do now is to go out there and get your voting card. Make sure you register to vote. That's the thing. Nigerians don't vote. They will say, what's the point? A lot of people do not vote. They will say, what's the point? They are going to rig the elections anyway. Yeah, they are going to rig the election. We all know the corruption there in INEC and all these electoral processes that go on in Nigeria. But both sides can also play the game. So you go and do your own civic duty and make sure you register, get your voting card. When the time comes, even though it's stressful, you need to vote. Because if you don't vote, then you don't have a say. You cannot go and complain. If you stay on Facebook today, from now till next year, and you're complaining, you're only wasting your time. It's not going to change anything. The only active difference that you can make is when you go and cast that vote and say, you know what, the same passion with which we wish to remove Jonathan, saying Jonathan was corrupt, Jonathan was weak, Jonathan wasn't doing this, he wasn't doing that. That same passion that people channeled when they voted out Jonathan and brought in Buhari, is that same passion now that you will use now to look at, okay, who is eligible in out of all these people that are coming? Who do I think would serve my interest? Not the interest of their own ethnic group or their own faiths, but the interest of the common man, the average Nigerian man who is suffering, who is in his farm, trying to find money to pay the children's school fees, trying to feed, trying to get the basic things that they should have that they don't have in life. Life is so difficult. People are suffering. People are dying of malnutrition. Yet, the government doesn't seem to care. So, the power that you have is your vote. So, make sure you get that voting card and go and vote. And this time, don't collect rice, or even I won't even say don't collect rice or cloth from them. I saw a video of the other day, some people distributing Ankara because of the elections that are coming up. You know what? Collect it from them, don't vote for them. Because they're already buying your votes. They will give you stipends so that they can go there and loot and steal. So, I mean, your vote is your vote. You can use it whichever way you want. If they come and give you rice, collect it. Don't even say, no, I don't want. Collect it from them. As long as it's you alone that is going into that polling booth, then you vote your conscience. That is what you need to do. The government needs to do something about this Fulani herdsmen. This cannot continue. We cannot, as a country that calls ourselves a democracy, even though it's not an advanced democracy, the government cannot sit down, fold its hands, and turn a blind eye to what is happening. It is so shameful. It is something that is boiling. It's making people, even people who are not there, you are not physically on ground in Nigeria, but as a Nigerian, it's making your spirit to boil that so many people are dying needlessly, wastefully. Their lives are being cut short by these so-called Fulani herdsmen, and nobody seems to care. The federal government does not seem to care. The police does not seem to care. The army does not seem to care. There is nothing happening. I've not seen any broadcast of Fulani herdsmen that were arrested and lined up and tried in court or anything to discourage them. Perhaps if anybody understands the psychology behind the thinking of these Fulani herdsmen, we might begin to find a solution towards this problem. But all I'm saying from my own perspective, as a lone Nigerian person who live abroad, is this needs to stop. It is against every human decency. It's against everything good. and it's against the principles and the fundamental human rights that we have, the right to life. It is against it. And the government needs to do something about it urgently. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen. I pray for my country. May God bless Nigeria. Always. It's been your girl, Bridget Hekpo. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. It's the red button down there. I'm getting a lot of comments and feedback. Thank you all so much for all your contribution. I appreciate every single one of you. But make sure you subscribe. Click the share and the like button. And also click the notification button so that whenever I upload my video, you can get notified on your phone. Until I see you again. Bye-bye.